Hello everyone, it's Yuki here, and welcome back to episode 8 of my Let's Play survival series. We finished up the path in the last episode, and since we're getting very close to episode 10, I want to start building a farm or two in order to get some firework rockets, in order to kill the dragon and get our wings. Getting the wings would make it really easy to get around the world, because at the moment it seems to be a bit annoying to travel everything, even with the boat or even with the path fully built. So getting the wings right now would be an absolute game changer. So the first thing that I'm gonna build is gonna be a general mob farm, and I think I'm gonna use Nembaum's design. It's an old design, but it's really reliable and simple to make. And that should give pretty much everything that I need, from rotten flesh to string, bones, arrows, everything. So there's no point to build a particular farm, especially that I'm gonna get gunpowder for this too, so I'm gonna be able to use it for rockets as well. And then I'm not sure if it's gonna happen this episode, but the next piece is gonna be to build a sugarcane farm. Once I have both of those done, or at least the mob farm, I'll be able to get some rockets and then pretty much get ready for the end. I'm probably gonna have to explore the nether as well a bit, because I'm gonna need those blade rods in order to craft the Eyes of Ender. But I'm hoping it should be easy enough to find a stronghold, but then again, our nether spawn is pretty bad, so who knows. So yeah, I'm gonna go down into the mines, maybe even find some diamonds while I'm at it. And I'm not exactly sure what I want this to be built from. I was thinking at one point to make it maybe out of bone blocks. I don't know how it would look in the sky though. And obviously I'm gonna have to find an area where I want to build this. That's pretty much at sea level, so maybe the mob farm would actually be better built in the middle area in between the two bridges. Yeah, I was thinking pretty much about this area. It's like a pretty flat area, so I wouldn't have to destroy a lot of grass around here. And it's pretty much at sea level, so basically I can just go up, make the farm in the sky, and potentially make something around it. I'm not too sure what I want to make yet, so I'm probably gonna have to decide what would actually look okay to have here. So until I come up with that, it's probably just gonna be a floating island. Actually, that would be a pretty cool idea, to try to make a floating island out of it. Yeah, it could actually work pretty well. I'm just gonna have to make it spawn proof basically, but it could be a very good idea. And I'm still not decided, but I think I might go ahead and make it out of bones. Like, I have a lot of bone blocks, and it would save me a lot of mining. Go away, horse. Oh, I have the carrots, that's why they keep following me. I was wondering, like, why are they onto me? Okay, so I guess it's gonna be a lot of AFKing at the skeleton farm to get this done. But I think it would still be better than going ahead and mining all the blocks that I need. As I was about to go down into the mine, I just realized I actually mined a lot of blocks while I was making the tunnel, so I have plenty of cobble deep slate to pull off this build. So realistically, I think I don't necessarily need anything right now. I probably need a few bows to craft the dispensers and the dropper that I need, and potentially mine some actual stone because I only have cobblestone. I have plenty of quartz here to craft the repeaters, so we're pretty much set. I don't even have to go to the nether, which is a really big thing. Before I go ahead actually and get all the materials, I actually will need a lot of stone to craft all the comparators and repeaters. So I made a small stone generator here. It's basically near the skeleton farm, so I'm still activating the spawner, so I'm getting a few bones in between. So it's kind of a dual thing. So I'm gonna be mining here for a bit just to get all the stone that I need for this. And then I'm gonna start crafting all the materials that I need for this. So now that I got the stone, I actually decided that I'm probably gonna need a lot of chests to make the sorting system for the mob farm. So I think I'm gonna make a bamboo farm. I managed to design one in creative that seems pretty easy, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna go ahead with that. And I decided that I'm gonna make it like hidden away in the forest. So at the moment, this is where the house is. Then in between these two trees here, I'm gonna put the farm. It is going to be a bit taller than the trees, but I might be able to hide a few bigger trees in there and then just kind of mask it. So I'm starting off here with the mud and with the hoppers underneath. If you didn't know, the mud is actually less than a block tall. So any items that you throw in, they're gonna get picked up by the hoppers straight away. So you don't have to worry about it. Like if you would use grass, for example, you would have to actually use minecart hoppers to pick up the items. But because of the mud, it's a really handy thing to have. Everything just goes straight into the chest because of the hoppers. The next step is gonna be 4 dispensers facing the bamboo. So the bamboo is gonna be here on this mud. Then I'm gonna have the 5 pistons above. So these are gonna be the pistons that are gonna break off the bamboo when it's growing. 3 blocks above the piston, I'm gonna have an observer facing this way. Behind the observer will be a target block. And then from the target block, I'm gonna have to put redstone down that will activate the pistons. And to make sure that the signal strength is long enough, I'm gonna add a repeater over here. I will then add the hoppers going into the dispensers that will fit the bone meal. Then the powered rails would go over the hoppers. I'm going to place a chest here that I'm gonna try to face it this way. It doesn't really matter, but personal preference. This is the chest where all the items will go into. I mean, where all the bone meal will go into. Then I'm gonna add the minecart hopper. This is gonna continuously go in between and it's gonna feed all those 4 dispensers. Underneath the dispenser, I'm adding a few more target blocks. Then it's gonna be redstone behind them, all the way up to here. And then on top of this redstone, it's gonna be another target block. Facing away from the target block will be an observer. So basically, the face of the observer should be here. And then there will have to be a sticky piston holding this observer like this that will activate the clock. Unfortunately, I don't have a sticky piston right now. I wasn't able to find any slime. So I'm just gonna manually put the observer down to activate the clock. So with the farm complete, I tried to kind of hide it in the canopy and I feel like it kind of works. You don't necessarily see that's not an actual tree in there. It's kind of like a gigantic oak tree maybe. So it kind of fits. Then down here, you can pretty much see that it's man-made, but it's okay. And then up through here, I get to my chest. All the bone meal is already in. And then I'm gonna attempt a few seconds and see if this is actually going to work. So it's going to be really, really loud. So I'm sorry about that. Oh, right. I do have to put the bamboo in there as well, obviously. So with the bamboo placed, I can try again. Yeah, it definitely seems to be working. Like I said, I have to manually break this at the moment until I manage to get a sticky piston. But I feel like it's kind of working okay. I think actually what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put 2 scaffolding so the mobs won't actually attempt to go in here. I think that's going to work nice. So like you saw there were a few seconds that I ran the farm and there's already 2 stacks of bamboo in there. So it's really, really efficient. Of course it uses bone meal, but I have plenty with the skeleton farm, so there's not really any problems with that. And also, the fact that this observer here will detect when this bamboo grows, it's both a passive farm and a bone meal farm, so it's going to work out really nice. So it's just gonna produce bamboo passively for me, and then when I really need a lot of them, for example, to make the chests for the storage system, I'm just gonna use the bone meal piece, and that's gonna be it. I will try to AFK for a while now just to see how much it actually produces when it's a passive farm. I'm not expecting to have such high results. It's a fairly small farm. I mainly made it for the bone meal, but at least it's gonna be passive while I do other things around the base. So yeah, I will AFK for a while and I will see you right after. So it's been just a bit under an hour and it doesn't look too good. We got a stack and there we go. We got a few more just now. So a stack and a half almost. So yeah, for an hour of waiting, it's definitely not too good of a production. But considering I built this mostly for the bone meal part of it, it should be fairly okay. So it's gonna do for now, and I'm definitely going to make a bigger one further down the line when I'm gonna need more resources. At the moment, we're fairly okay, still at the start of the game, so there's not too many things needed. But further down the line, I'm probably gonna have to make some mega farms to get us going. So I ran the farm with the bone meal part of it. Oh, there we go. And this is what I got in about 3 to 4 minutes. It definitely used a lot of bone meal. I pretty much put a whole double chest in here and it seems like all of it is gone now. Yeah, the minecart the minecart doesn't have anything left in it, so it's potentially some left in the hoppers. But yeah, for less than 5 minutes work to get a full double chest, that's really good going. And also, in case you're wondering, out of that whole double chest I managed to craft 6 stacks and a bit of block of bamboos. So that should give us plenty of chests after I transfer them into planks. I'm definitely gonna need a lot of hoppers for the mob farm, so it's gonna be really good to have. I was never a huge fan of this boat with a chest, but it's actually so handy to transport items. I know it's only a chest extra, but that saved me an extra trip basically, just purely because I put everything in the chest. So definitely try to use this in case you didn't so far. So the first thing in building this farm is gonna be to place down the chest and the hoppers pointing into it at basically level 63, so it's just 1 block above the sea level. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have 2 pointing into the middle ones on each of the sides. Yeah, should look something around these lines here. And this is basically gonna be the platform where the mobs are gonna fall from and just die here. The next step is gonna be to pillar up to Y93. I use scaffolding, it seems to be the easiest way. And then to build a 5x5 platform here. This is basically going to be the hole for the mobs to fall in through. And it's gonna match the hoppers down below exactly, so it's gonna be enough of a big hole to fit all the spiders and all the mobs that are gonna be dropping down, so there won't be any spiders especially being caught on. From this platform we would build 7 blocks out and then basically build a diamond all around it with all edges being 7 blocks. I use the polished deep slate slabs just to make it easier to see on video how the blocks look like. But you can use any type of slabs that you want. So it's going to look something like this. After finishing the platform, you would want to step up 1 block, then go out 3 more, and continue making a diamond around this. After finishing the platform, go up 1 more block, and I recommend using full blocks for this one, purely because of the waterlogging feature that got added since Nambomb built this farm. Like this, you're gonna be allowed to place the water on top of this, rather than if you use a slab, the water would just flow down, so it wouldn't be working as it's supposed to be. Behind this, you'll also need some temporary blocks. These are going to be here just to trick the water to actually fall in rather than falling out. After the water will be placed, like I will show you a bit later on, these blocks will go away and you're gonna have just a clean platform. Once you have this complete and the temporary blocks placed, you can go ahead and place the water on these inside blocks here. This would flow in, and then you should place one on every single block because there's not going to be any sources forming. As you can see, the water just flows in. It's going to be a bit of a tedious process, especially in survival, but like I said, the farm is definitely worth it. I've been using it for a very long time. Once you finish placing up the water, you should have something like this, and you can start breaking the temporary blocks that you placed earlier on. But be careful, because if you break any of the blocks with the water on it, you will have to redo the whole platform from scratch. The next step will be to place all our dispensers. Add 2 temporary blocks and then add up your dispenser. Continue adding 2 temporary blocks in a dispenser until you reach the top, and at the top we will finish with a dropper. Once we reach the top, we can jump back down into the water, and we would start placing our observers facing up, pillaring again all the way up. Once all these are complete, we're gonna go 7 blocks out from the central dispenser, and again we're gonna create our diamond platforms. All these are made with topped slabs, so basically all the way up to the top using top slabs, creating the diamonds required for the spawning platforms. It's probably also a good idea to place torches on the platforms, just so when you come back down there won't be any mobs spawned to kill you. The top layer will be built out of bottom slabs. We go the usual 7 blocks out from the dropper, like the platforms below, and then we continue with another 14 blocks. And again we are gonna fill out the whole diamond all the way through. This will ensure basically that the light level on every single platform is completely 0, so the mobs will only spawn in this once we build the AFK platform. Now with the roof complete, we're gonna add some top slabs here, which are gonna be the base for our clock. Here we'll place the lever, the comparator in subtract mode, and then we will place all our repeaters on full delay. With the clock complete, now we can go down and place our water buckets in each of the dispensers, and make sure that on the way down you actually block each of the holes that you made with your temporary blocks. With the buckets also placed, the next step will be to add signs at the edge of the water, so the spiders basically will be able to fall through and all the mobs would slide in since the water goes a bit over the sign. With the signs placed, the farm is now pretty much complete. The only thing left now is to pillar up from this level 127 blocks and then make a glass path all the way up to the middle of the farm. That will be your perfect AFK spot. That will ensure that no mobs will spawn here on the surface since everything is lit up. As you saw from that small footage, this was about a minute being up in the AFK spot, and there's already a lot of items in here, so imagine AFKing for a while or just being around the world because the farm will constantly just load. The next step would definitely be to make an automatic sorting system for the farm down below. I'm probably gonna have to gather a few more resources. I don't think I have enough to build the whole sorter since it does need a lot of redstone. So for the time being, I'll probably just put a few hoppers and some chests just to gather the items in there, and then I'm gonna work in gathering more materials, and then I'm gonna make the actual sorting system. Also, what I would recommend, considering some of the mobs are actually surviving due to feather falling, and sometimes they could even pick up some items, which means they will never despawn, I'd recommend you put some magma blocks around this and then add a fence around it. Like that, the mobs will be pretty much forced to walk onto the magma blocks if they are too many. Also, if you don't have magma blocks, you could use like campfires or any type of blocks that could hurt them. So the final product would look something like this. Like I mentioned earlier, I added a few temporary chests here just to kind of gather the drops. And I'm gonna start working in gathering all the resources, and probably in the next episode I'm gonna build this storage system. And hopefully I'll be able to also make that sugarcane farm. So we're already getting a good bit of gunpowder. I will just need the paper, so the sugarcane farm would be next. And I would say that after that we can almost go and fight the dragon. Since we managed to achieve the goal of finishing the mob farm, this is gonna be it for this episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like and a comment down below. Also consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!